Hello and welcome to my YouTube study channel Vidya Sathi, where learning meets the learner. So, as I have promised that I will be simultaneously dealing with current affairs section of 466 BPSC main, as well as I will bring videos for polity as well. So today I am presenting the first video of the polity section, and today I will be dealing with the topic Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, which is quite an important topic for upcoming 66 BPSC mains. There is small request that if you like my videos, please share it and subscribe it and press the bell icon to get the latest update about my videos. So today we are going to discuss the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019, which was passed, and what are the different aspects that it involves, and what are the provisions that were there in this act, the protests that erupted throughout the country, what were the constitutional legality of this act, and different aspects of related to this case. So, first thing which comes in our mind, what is citizenship? So, a citizenship, it's a relationship that an individual shares with the political community. Now, what is this political community? This political community can be a nation or a country, anything. Now, this world often this the term city, nation and country we use interchangeably, but the thing is that there are some inherent differences in these two terms. If we when we talk about nation, it's a feeling and it's a we feeling, and if that we feeling can be based upon similarity of culture, similarity of language, similarity in ethnicity. So it's a we feeling, and the term nation, it don't have any physical boundaries. Not specifically defined physical boundaries are not there. Any region, it is just a feeling and it is just a thought. But if we talk about country, it's a sovereign state having precisely defined physical boundaries which exist in reality. So these there are some differences which we should know. Now, so citizenship is the relationship that an individual shares with the political community. Political community may be a country, maybe a nation. Now, if he is sharing the relationship, now in relationship we know that we are having some benefits, and if we are having some benefits we need to make some compromises as well. So what are the benefits that the individual gets while being in relationship with political community? So he gets the equal membership of all the privileges, and he gets equal membership, he gets certain rights, certain rights which are known as fundamental rights. But in lieu of that, he has some responsibility, he has some duty, and that duties he has to perform in able to enjoy those fundamental rights. So citizenship is the relationship that an individual shares with the political community. Now that political community may be a nation or a country, and he gets equal membership of all the rights and privileges, and he gets certain fundamental rights, and he has to perform certain fundamental duties. Now, if we talk about citizenship provisions in our constitution, it is mentioned in the part 2 of our constitution. And if we talk about the articles related to citizenship, the articles for citizenship start from Article 5 and it ends at Article 11. Now, if we talk about Article 5, it talks about citizenship of those persons who were the citizens of India at the time of the commencement of the Constitution. Now, if we talk about Article 6, it talks about the right of citizenship of certain persons who have migrated to India from Pakistan. Now, if we talk about Article 7, it talks about right to citizenship of those persons who have migrated from India to Pakistan. Now, if we talk about Article 8, it talks about citizenship of Indian origin, those persons who are having Indian origin but they are residing outside India. So, Article 8 talks about that. If you talk about Article 9 talks about if any person who is residing outside a citizen of India, if he acquires the membership or the citizenship of any other country, then automatically his citizenship will be, he will cease to be a citizen of India. Because in India we don't have the provision of dual citizenship. Like countries like Israel or US, there are provisions of dual citizenship, but in India we don't have such provisions. Now, Article 10. Article 10 basically talks about continuance of citizenship. What are the conditions in which citizenship will continue? And Article 11 talks that all the laws that have to be framed with regard to citizenship, it has to be framed by the highest lawmaking authority, that is the parliament. So these were the articles that are related to citizenship. We know what is citizenship, what are the articles related to it. So that was a basic introduction for citizenship. Now, we will be dealing what are the ways in which one can acquire the citizenship. So now we will talk about why this citizenship was in news. So we have seen in year 2019, central government has made some amendments in the Citizenship Act 1995. The original Citizenship Act was passed in 1955. So central government has decided to make some amendments in this act, and that is the that is the reason why it was in news. Now, in year 2019, central government has amended the this provision of the Citizenship Act, that is in India, as we all know that there are 5 ways we can acquire the citizenship, and those 5 ways are by birth, by registration, by descent, and by incorporation of territory. Now, and the last one is by naturalization. Now, this Citizenship Amendment Act only amends this one by naturalization. Earlier, there was a provision that those persons who have resided in India legally for a period of 11 years plus 12 months preceding to the applying date, then he can become a citizen by naturalization. But now this act seeks to amend this provision and make it 6 years plus 1 year. Now, one more thing is that the what are the problems. Now we will be dealing with what are the problems that are there with the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019. So if you talk about problems, so this Citizenship Amendment Act seeks to give citizenships to 6 religious community, namely Buddhist, Jains, Hindus, Sikhs, Parsis, and Christians. Now, from 3 countries like Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Bangladesh, who have been religiously persecuted there. Now, Government is saying that this is a humanitarian gesture that was shown by us, and as a part of humanitarian gesture, we are providing the citizenship to these people. Now, if we talk about the problems that are associated with this Citizenship Amendment Act, so we have included only three countries, that is Bangladesh, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. What about religious minority in Sri Lanka? And what about religious minority in Myanmar? As we all know that in Sri Lanka, Tamils have been religiously persecuted there. In Myanmar, we know Rohingyas, they have been religiously persecuted. Why we don't? Why the bill is silent? Why the act is silent on these two countries? Similarly, we have Shia and Ahmadiyya Muslims. The act is silent about Shia and Ahmadiyya Muslims as well. Now, there are allegations from those who are protesting that this bill is violative of Article 14. This act is violative of Article 14, that is equality, because it excludes Muslims, one religious community, and it is being alleged that it is a discrimination based on religion. But government is giving the rationale that since Muslims are the majority religion in these countries, and most of the and all of them are the Islamic countries. They declare themselves as Islamic country. So Muslims persecution is not in that Muslim persecution is not possible there. Now, so one more thing, many of the critics and political analysts, they are saying that it is a self goal that India has made. Because if we see it from the international perspective or the global geopolitical perspective, so Bangladesh and Afghanistan are the two countries with which we are having good relations. Now we are saying that these six religious communities were persecuted there. So obviously it will lead to some strain in the relationship between the countries. And we have seen the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina, she has raised objection about this act. So, in international relations also, political analysts they say that India had made a self goal through this act. Now, if we talk about one more problem with Citizenship Amendment Act is the process of NRC. The real objective behind NRC was to identify the illegal immigrants and to deport them back from where they have come. But the objective of the Citizenship Amendment Act is just the opposite of the objective of NRC. It says that those persons who are residing in India belonging to six religious minority community in these three countries, they can get the citizenship if they have entered India before 31st December 2014. So their goals are quite opposite with each other, and this is a major problem. So these were the problems that are associated with the citizenship. This was part 1 of the Citizenship Amendment Act 2019 video. Tomorrow I will be coming with the part 2 of the video where I will be dealing with different aspects of Citizenship Amendment Act. And if you like my video, please share it, subscribe it and press the bell icon to get the latest update of my videos. And tomorrow I will be uploading current affairs section one video and I will be completing Citizenship Amendment Act. Thank you.